Daily Dose of English presents Daily English Idioms. Part 68.
Blue chip company. Meaning. This is an idiom that means a large, successful, and profitable company. Examples. Apple is a blue chip company. Microsoft is a blue chip company. Google is a blue chip company. Have a leg to stand on. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to have a valid reason or argument. Examples. He doesn't have a leg to stand on, his argument is invalid. She doesn't have a leg to stand on, her excuses won't work. He doesn't have a leg to stand on, his evidence is weak. No great shakes. Meaning. This is an idiom that means something is mediocre or unremarkable. Examples. The movie wasn't no great shakes, it was just okay. The food wasn't no great shakes, it was pretty average. The book wasn't no great shakes, it was just all right. Keep things in proportion. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to keep things in perspective. Examples. Try to keep things in proportion and don't get too stressed out. He needs to keep things in proportion and not make a big deal out of it. She needs to keep things in proportion and not take it too seriously. A necessary evil. Meaning. This is an idiom that means something unpleasant but required. Examples. Taxes are a necessary evil. Homework is a necessary evil. Going to the dentist is a necessary evil. As nice as pie. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to be extremely friendly and kind. Examples. She was as nice as pie when I met her. He was as nice as pie when I asked him for help. She was as nice as pie when I asked her for a favor. Crest of a wave. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to be at the peak of success. Examples. He's riding the crest of a wave right now with all his success. She's riding the crest of a wave with all her achievements. He's riding the crest of a wave with his new project. Beat/flog a dead horse. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to keep doing something even though it no longer has any effect. Examples. Stop beating a dead horse, it's not going to get you anywhere. He's been flogging a dead horse by trying to get her attention. She's been beating a dead horse by trying to convince him to change his mind. Add insult to injury. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to make a bad situation even worse. Examples. To add insult to injury, he lost his job on top of his divorce. She got a parking ticket to add insult to injury. To add insult to injury, he had to pay for the damages he caused. Get the message. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to understand what someone is trying to say. Examples. I got the message you don't want me to come to the party. He got the message you don't want him to borrow your car. She got the message you don't want her to stay at your house. By the skin of one's teeth. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to barely succeed or survive. Examples. He just passed the exam by the skin of his teeth. She managed to finish the race by the skin of her teeth. He made it through the ordeal by the skin of his teeth. Cake/game is not worth the candle. Meaning. This is an idiom that means that the effort or cost is not worth the reward. Examples. It's not worth the candle to try and fix it, it's too broken. The game is not worth the candle, it's not worth the effort. The cake is not worth the candle, it's not worth the cost. Count your blessings. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to be grateful for what you have. Examples. She always counts her blessings. He always counts his blessings. She always reminds herself to count her blessings. Jump for joy. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to be very happy and excited. Examples. He jumped for joy when he heard the good news. She jumped for joy when she found out she got the job. He jumped for joy when he won the contest. Fast and furious. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to do something quickly and with intensity. Examples. She worked fast and furious to finish the project on time. He worked fast and furious to get the job done. She worked fast and furious to make sure everything was ready on time. Burn your bridges. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to do something that makes it impossible to go back. Examples. He burned his bridges when he quit his job without giving notice. She burned her bridges when she moved away without saying goodbye. He burned his bridges when he said something hurtful and irreversible. Put a finger on something. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to identify or define something. Examples. I can't put my finger on what's wrong. She can't put her finger on the source of her unhappiness. He can't put his finger on why he's so unhappy. That ship has sailed. Meaning. This is an idiom that means something is no longer an option. Examples. That ship has sailed, it's too late to change your mind now. The ship has sailed, you can't take it back now. That ship has sailed, you can't undo what you've done. Christmas comes but once a year. Meaning. This is an idiom that means something doesn't happen very often. Examples. Christmas comes but once a year, you should enjoy it while it lasts. Vacation comes but once a year, you should make the most of it. Payday comes but once a year, you should make the most of it. Go spare. Meaning. This is an idiom that means to become very angry. Examples. He went spare when he heard the news. She went spare when she saw the mess. He went spare when he saw what she did. Split hairs. Meaning. To argue or make a distinction over something insignificant or unimportant. Examples. You're splitting hairs over such a minor detail. The lawyers were splitting hairs about the terms of the contract. Stop splitting hairs and just do what you're told. Hit the panic button. Meaning. To react to a situation with panic or alarm. Examples. When the fire alarm went off, I hit the panic button and ran out of the building. When the stock market crashed, investors hit the panic button and started selling their shares. Don't hit the panic button, we just need to come up with a plan. Today's idioms were: blue chip company, hot have a leg to stand on, no great shakes, keep things in proportion, a necessary evil, as nice as pie, crest of a wave, beat/flog a dead horse, add insult to injury, get the message, flog a dead horse, by the skin of one's teeth, cake/game is not worth the candle, count your blessings, jump for joy, fast and furious, burn your bridges, put a finger on something, that ship has sailed, Christmas comes but once a year, go spare, split hairs, hit the panic button.